In May 2025, in the mountains of China, 16 drones lifted 180 tons of steel and concrete up a mountain cliff. No road, no trucks, and not even a pilot. Does that even sound like a real story? But trust me, it's verified. And it's not even the most shocking part of this story. In the present construction, most of the world use road, trucks, and cranes for the construction projects. And recently China proved it doesn't need one. Today on FactoPiaX, we are showing you China's miracle in the sky, how they did it, how fast the money moved, and the one number out of Washington that shows how far behind everyone else really is. Watch till the end, because by the end, you will be truly shocked by the miracles done by China. Let's picture a real scene from China. Sichuan County in Yunnan province. Karst cliffs cut straight down like knives. In terrain so broken it swallows equipment whole. No road wide enough for a construction truck to even attempt the climb. So what happens when a government decides a proof of concept isn't a novelty anymore? In 2022, Chinese engineers tested a single heavy lift drone for the first time, and it was carrying 300 kilograms up a mountain. 300 kilograms. And it was just the test to see if the idea would work. By 2025, that same idea was lifting 180 tons, flying preset routes with no pilot at the control. And they were delivering concrete and steels to build solar power project. That's 600 times the weight in under 3 years. That's not just the incremental progress. That's a country deciding to skip the slow path entirely. Now take a guess. How high did they fly carrying that weight? Not just 100 meters. Take 1,650 meters. That is over a mile from the sea level. For China, height was never the obstacles. Neither was the weight, nor rock, nor distance. The only real variable was whether anyone was willing to try. And China stopped asking that question long time ago. That's a completed job, delivering power to homes right now. So why hasn't this become the default everywhere terrain gets in the way? Because this was never just an engineering trick. It's a policy. In its 15th five-year plan, the document that sets China's direction from 2026 to 2030, the government named the entire low-altitude economy a pillar industry, in the same category as the new energy and new materials. That's not just a pilot program. That's government staking its credibility on airspace nobody used 5 years ago. And it isn't just what Beijing is talking. Around 30 provinces have already written this into local policy, nearly all of them racing to build hubs before anyone falls behind. So what does a country do once an entire country is betting on the same airspace at once? It rewrites the law around it. A revised civil aviation law taking effect on July 1st, 2026. Carving out tiered airspace below 300 meters so drones and manned aircraft never share the same lane. Every drone gets mandatory registration starting May 1st, 2026. This moved faster than almost anyone predicted, even the forecasters. In January of 2025, they projected this market would hit about 1 trillion yuan by year's end. It blew past that before summer even arrived, landing closer to 1.5 trillion yuan instead, around 211 billion US dollars. Nearly 90,000 businesses in China are now registered in this exact space. Now take a guess. How many registered in just the 5 months of 2025 alone? Whatever number you landed on, The real one is 11,700. That was more than the entire year before it. Now here is a question. How does an industry add that many companies in 5 months? Because this isn't happening by accident. It's happening because the government is demanding it happen fast. And part of how they are pulling it off is batteries. CATL, the company that already powers most of the world's electric cars, has been building solid-state batteries specifically to keep these aircraft in the air longer and carrying more. When the company already running the EV industry starts building for the sky too, that's not a side project. That's a second industry built on the first one's playbook. And this is not confined to mountains either. So, how far can moving cargo actually stretch before it starts looking like something else entirely? In 2024 alone, China added over 140 new drone delivery routes nationwide. Same city delivery orders carried by drone hit 48 billion in a single year. If you live in one of China's big cities, a drone may have already delivered to you without you even noticing. Shanghai has already flown a passenger-carrying autonomous aircraft over the Huangpu River in the middle of the city. A preview of the air taxi service is still to come. Underneath all of it, drones are already serving farmland and flying emergency supplies into flood zones where rescue vehicles can't reach. Take a guess how many industries this technology already touches. Try nearly everyone that involves moving something, somewhere, and quickly. Now put all of that next to the rest of the world, including your own backyard if you are in the US or Europe. In the United States, a commercial drone is still kept at 55 pounds under the FAA's own rules. Regulators proposed a rule in August of 2025 to finally allow drones to fly beyond a pilot's direct line of sight. And as of the middle of 2026, it still hasn't been finalized. Meanwhile, in the mountains of Yunnan, 16 drones had already moved 180 tons of steel and concrete. So, when one country is still debating 55 pounds, what does it mean that another one is already counting in tons? It isn't only the US falling behind. Europe's aviation regulator has only just begun certifying drones up to 600 kilograms, roughly half a ton. China moved 300 times that much weight in a single operation. Not 30% more, 300 times more weight in one single flight. That is just like finding the difference between carrying a suitcase and carrying the bus. That's roughly the scale we are talking about. While everyone else was just debating whether it's even possible, China just went and did it and make it possible what was thought to be impossible. So, does this mean trains are finished everywhere? No, not yet. Here is the part almost nobody mentions. The same 16 drones that moved 180 tons of steel in Yunnan never touched a single skyscraper. They touched a power line in a place trucks couldn't reach. Right now, this technology has solved one very specific, very real problem: moving heavy material where roads can't go. It hasn't rewritten construction everywhere. Not yet. So how many years stand between solving one mountain and rewriting an entire industry? So is this really the future of construction, or just one incredible narrow win that hasn't gone further yet? Both are true for now. What isn't in question is how they got here. Starting small in 2022 from just 300 kilograms and scaling that up to 180 tons in under 3 years. That's exactly the pattern behind everything China builds lately. Start fast, scale faster, and treat impossible like a deadlines instead of an excuse. Whatever comes for this industry, one thing is certain. The countries still arguing over 55 pounds limit will not be the countries setting the pace anymore. If this is the first time you have seen what China's actually building in the sky, like this video, subscribe and share it with someone who still thinks cranes are the future of construction. Because in the mountains of Yunnan, they already aren't. So this was all for today. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.